War is inevitable.
Waffles, what was that game? That was so fun to watch.
That was an amazing game.
You've made the right choice.
Like,
Guys, welcome to Classic League. This is what we're all about. This is very fun.
Time! Oh, Martin, come!
I'm not sure you give Nevermore that Scylla anymore. Take that Scylla off the table, maybe have a better game.
I'm a wizard!
He'll be able to hold this off.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't think he'll be able to hold this off.
Victory is ours!
Deicide coming on out! Split push! Able to defend!
Quadra-kill.
Quadra kill! The way of Guy Almighty!
What did I say about Fire Giant? It was all he needed.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to episode 58 of good old Split Push Podcast here. Me and my crew. First up, it's Yuki.
What's up?
And we got my buddy Guy.
What's up, everybody?
There's Dirtnap Dan.
Oh, sorry, hold on. I got a burp in my
I
throat.
can't hear you.
Okay. Hey, what's happening, everybody?
And, of course, the lovely Beagle Girl.
This podcast hates me. I swear.
Woo.
She muted
And,
her.
of
We
course,
love you, though,
you know,
Beagle.
smiling and nodding Dirtnap's dad here.
What?
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 Are you smarter than a smartphone?
What is
I
happening?
don't know.
No, you're just breaking up a little bit. Get closer to your mic.
But anyway, I digress. We're here to talk about some Smite tonight, and I would like to start things off with a little retraction that I need to make from last week's podcast. I made a statement that upon further information developing now seems to have appeared to be false. And that's when I had stated in the game there where I was playing Nox that I had made the Chernobog quit. Because it was like right after, another lockdown and my team, poured over him like warm vomit and deleted him. I came home from the mountains several days later because we had gone right after that. And I find this slew of messages, because people wanted to report the Chernobog for quitting. And someone was defending him saying, no, dude, we were in this together and, his PlayStation froze up. And, so there's this conversation about that. And then the guy finally, yeah, dude, I had an error and everything. And then half the people left. And I'm just like, I just said, sorry for doing Nox things. And then the funny thing is I kind of went off and was doing stuff. I think I may have, I don't know, playing some games, whatever. And a while later, I'm just like, oh, there's a lot more messages here now. And someone's like, well, first off, obviously the retraction is that, that guy didn't rage quit. So, but then I see this conversation from Blitzer Boy, 502. He's like, there's this guy named Dirtnap's dad on this podcast I listen to. And then someone else is like, what podcast? He's like, it's the Split Push podcast. And then they were like, wouldn't that be cool if this was the host? So I'm like, oh, yeah, hi, it was me. Like, high five, And I'm like, oh, by the way, since we had already recorded that last week's episode early, I already knew at that point that conversation was in, our last week here. So I'm just like, oh yeah, that's going to be on this week's show too. And then the one guy's like, not my horrible tier play. I'm like, thankfully I didn't bust on anybody. And actually the funny part is when I went back and listened to it, because I wasn't sure exactly what I said in hindsight, because, well, again, we recorded that earlier, so that was a long time ago. I'm getting old here. But I actually gave props out to the Artemis on the other team, which was Blitzer Boy. So I thought that was actually pretty cool.
Hi, Blitzer Boy.
What's up, Blitzer?
Hello, person.
He did ask me to give you all my regards, so...
we got our eye on him
go.
now. We're going to be looking for that.
Looking for you.
I see that name. I'm coming.
Yeah, in other game news, Guy, what'd you get these other folks into here?
Well, we had a week off the podcast. This is what happens when I get time off. So we are now a team in the Exilium Exilium
Jeez.
Classic League.
You don't even know how to
We
speak.
had our
Nothing
first game last
classic
night.
about us.
You know.
And
We got-
let's hold
we got
on, hold
whooped
on.
on.
Let's give it a little more foreground. We were
Yeah.
thrown into this league
3 days ahead.
as infants down a steep hill with jagged rocks all through it, and then a 200-foot deep lake at the bottom.
Okay, this is what I need. This is like a meme. You ever seen the John Wayne meme when he comes and he asks the kid, he's fishing down the river, and he's like, oh, you don't know how to swim, and picks him up and throws him in the river?
Yep.
Yeah.
That
We
was
need somebody to meme that to us
American
right there.
That was us.
That's me. I'm John Wayne, and you guys are the little kid.
Yeah.
So what is the exact team here? Because not all of us could participate because of being stuck on PS4 Island.
Stupid Sony.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have me at mid. We have Yuki at support. We have Dan at ADC because he's on PC. We have Yuri or Lucille. He's playing jungle, and we got American Zombie, who's never played Conquest before, as our solo laner.
He was doing so good, too. I was talking to him after our match, and I'm like, dude, you're doing really good considering you've played 4 games of Conquest.
That second match in the set, he was dominating his lane for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough
Yeah,
that he got
dude.
attention. Yeah.
I got
Adam?
attention.
Yeah.
I don't
we,
want to talk about my attention, though.
It's all good. We had our shortcomings where anytime we play Conquest, we have our shortcomings, which is good because that means we're playing consistently otherwise. The fact that we kind of have a poor, mid to late with the group up, teamwork, fight, objective thing, that's something we've always struggled at because we don't play a lot of Conquest in particular. And again, I almost never play Conquest, and American Zombie literally started playing for this tournament. We're like, come on, buddy. He's like, I've never done it. We're like, we don't care.
Pretty
I
much.
just want to
Put
point out
you in
now.
solo lane. It doesn't matter.
Oh, you don't know how to swim, huh?
Yeah.
I just want to point out too, this isn't us whinging. This is us saying, look, this is how it is. This is how it was.
Yep.
That's just how it happened.
It was
Yeah,
fun, though.
We
We had a good
just
time.
played
I
that
thought we had a
game
great
with
time.
fun in mind.
Yeah, we did good. We had a guy with that monster defense on the Titan in the first game.
Oh, that Quadra
Quadra
kill.
should have been
Come
Penta.
on.
Should have been
Yep.
a penta in his first game.
Should have been a Penta. Yuri,
Wow.
little, you know what?
Yeah,
Wow, I wasn't even
we
there,
had to
guys.
we had to bleep
Wow,
out
I'd have
quite
had
a
the Penta
few.
kill in the Classic League game. I'd have had a Penta kill with it being casted. It'd have been beautiful.
And that was the first game of the day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
We,
we could have a Penta in the first game.
Mm.
We almost
That was
immediately
something.
shouted, "That's going on the podcast."
Yeah.
Dude, that was a defense because you I don't even know how you pulled that off because you were not in good shape.
He just
either.
kept pushing people away with his one.
Yeah, I
He
just kept going
shoving
running
them
back.
off.
Actually, I think Yuki was alive at first and came out and stunned them all.
Yeah, I came back in and I Kumba mezzed
Yeah,
3 of them on the
Kumba mezzed.
Titan.
I was able to drop my whirlpool and hit my 1, and then pop my 2, and then we pretty much killed him from there.
Yeah. Yeah. So we still play like split pushers. We just completely fall apart right at the beginning. What we're doing.
Yeah, we're just not used to that competitive scene. I mean,
We're not used to.
We
Conquest.
practiced
there was
for 2
never
days.
there was
And by practiced, I mean we played 2 conquests
Yeah.
2 nights in a row.
I watched the VOD a little bit today, the first match anyways, and they were just so out rotating us so perfectly.
Oh yeah.
And we were all just pretty much sitting there well, what do we do?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's we'll get there. We'll start actually practicing and scrimming and just get a little better at playing Conquest.
and playing on different, modes
There's a lot of changes.
sources that you're used
Yeah.
to as
A
well.
lot of platform changes on top of it.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
play PlayStation.
There were a couple times in the game where something may have changed if I, hit an ability that I usually would have hit, or my mouse overflicked or got stuck, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's just kind of comes with PC too at that same point. But also there were times where my fingers were kind of fumbling for my relics a little slowly. So I'll get there a little faster.
Yeah.
But it was a great time.
With
It
practice.
was really awesome.
Yeah. And that a lot of us are playing on controllers should not be understated.
Yeah.
Right.
Because 3 of us are playing controller, even though I'm playing on PC.
Yep.
Yeah, you're
That's
using
saying something,
controller.
Apparently, somebody who's using a controller and a keyboard, or a controller
I
and a
do
mouse.
I do more than you think for some things. Even though that was Yuri had said that was he misspoke there, and he was saying something about it being Dan or whatever. But I do use the keyboard. I use the controller for most of my movement in the main gameplay. But I do use like the mouse. Like when I needed to. In the second match when I was Bacchus and they kept diving me and I was almost dead and we ended up getting like 2 kills on defense and I was playing squiggly runaway. I had actually moved over to the mouse because using the analog on the controller to move and the mouse to be able to change direction faster. So I legitimately at one point was playing with a mouse and controller.
So we didn't totally, you didn't totally fudge it, Yuri. You were just close.
Yeah. You just didn't know that was going to happen.
Right, you just predicted a little bit.
Yeah.
So I like how you described that was a wiggle around, retreat and attack moment. I would have described that more like a yeah moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw on the minimap people were coming in, and so I was just like, all right, I can't, I'm not gonna. They're gonna come under this tower, and it is if I try to run back to tier 2, I'm gonna get killed, and they're gonna get out. So I'm just gonna stand here and hold them in one spot as long as possible for the rotation, and it worked out. And then Yuri he tried to Alquang ult somebody. And then he didn't quite get him under the threshold, and I was nearly dead. But I turned back around and got that Bacchus burp off, just to do the damage. It's just we just gotta let it. It's got to be it's like I'm typically a really conservative player, but when I see these things, that sometimes I'd be like, it might be safer for me to run away and hope he gets the kill, or I think he's got it. I'm committing to trying to make that happen. And we got some really good plays. American Zombie, big shout out. Game 2 as well. They went for that fire giant, and he was playing Bologna, and he's over there basically by himself. And I'm like, crap, we need to defend. And he goes, you're never going to get here in time. He still went to contest, but we pushed through the Phoenix on that. We gave up a lot. We probably
tier 1, 2,
1,
and
2,
Phoenix?
and 3. Yeah. We probably should have let the Phoenix go instead of getting.
We maybe should have got it to half and then fucked off.
Well, yeah,
I do seem to recall an overextension there.
Yeah,
we did that several times. We did it in game 1 also. After we got the quadra kill.
Yeah,
we took the T1 or T2 tower in mid lane, and instead of just backing off and going back, we went to the left lane and tried to take another tower.
Yeah, and that's
we
kind
got wiped.
And that's typical unregularly playing Conquest us, and we'll learn and move on.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I watched the second half of the first game over Dan's shoulder, and it was a blast. And then I was just like, I found out I'm like, I need to leave the room and watch it, watch the Twitch broadcast of it instead, because it was like I so wanted to do
no,
give
you
advice
idiot,
and
do
stuff.
this.
I'm like,
Turn
no,
around.
I'm going upstairs, and I'm just like, all right. Now I can laugh at them in peace and not worry about it.
Yeah. I do have to say,
it did suck though, because I would hear expletives from Dan, and they would from downstairs, and they would be, was that a good one or a bad one? Well, that one was definitely bad. Because there was a big delay between what was going on downstairs and where I was at upstairs. But it was, and the casters were. They were fucking great. We got to get them on the show, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let me give them a shout out to Nuka DeLuca, Glacier 88, and Sir Waffles. They were awesome.
Yeah, dude, good times. Good times.
And a shout out to TBD, the team that beat us last night. They were awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, they played really well.
They had a last minute roster change.
Yeah, their ADC had to switch out. I'm not sure what happened, but
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Dude, I really enjoyed watching the ADC battles in the first game. There was some good back and forth from both of them there. And dude played a mean certain of those.
There was a lot of interest in the way I built versus the way he built.
Yeah.
I kind of built like a more ability-based Uller, but I would end up falling behind mid-game because I wasn't rotating correctly, and my abilities weren't doing enough, so it was kind of like I was just forfeiting.
Yeah, and again, that's learning, and you're also playing Uller, who anytime we play, you typically are not building attack speed on. But we'll work on that. We talked about it. It ain't too big of a deal. We've talked about some good items that Uller can utilize to bridge that kind of in between. And also, I'm super glad that Dan's my carry because we play a crap load of Joust together, which means we're really used to playing in that like kind of single lane and jungle dynamic for the early game. And I can say, we were joking going in, this is going to be terrible. We were going in to have a good time, but obviously we're going to try. We're not just going to be like fuck around and then fuck
Although
off.
we did mention 5 Guardians in the second game.
Yeah, we did mention 5 Guardians. But I think everyone showed up. That Scylla was a monster. Their mid laner was really good.
Can we talk about?
Yeah, let me give a shout out to Raven. That was the mid laner. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was some.
We definitely made a mistake the second
Scylla
game. Not banning Scylla.
I
or
couldn't
picking
believe
her.
that
Was
you
a
guys didn't
big
ban
mistake.
Yeah, I
after
think
that.
during game 2 banning, I mentioned it, but it was
Achilles.
kind of. Yeah, Achilles. How was that?
Like,
That was a good ban.
Jeez. Yeah, that was
Guy,
an
you gonna
accidental
fess
ban.
up?
Everybody that watched that Achilles was not supposed to be banned there.
Yeah.
Guy accidentally bans
I
Achilles and is
fat-thumbed
sitting
it.
there like, "Yep, Arthur's gone. Don't worry about him."
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, oh shit, wait, that's Achilles.
Oh.
At least they banned Arthur for you then.
Yeah.
Right.
I did
Like,
feel,
is
I
this
did
what
feel
you
really
meant?
good. American Zombie. I should say something, people. Sorry.
I said, is this what you meant?
Smile and nod.
Smile and nod.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was. I definitely feel like in all lanes we did a good job. Yuri showing up jungling better than any of us would have done. American Zombie holding his own, even had some good pressure in solo. And he's just going to learn what more he can do off of that. That's going to come with time. And I think at duo we were slapping him like we showed up for that game, which was really nice.
Yeah, I got some messages from players and from other people. They were like, individually we did really well, but once we got to the team fighting stage, we weren't really focusing on one person like we should have been, and just certain little things.
Yeah.
I definitely remember seeing that at one point. I'm like, because I played Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition where you learn to focus fire things, and it works the same in this game of Smite. So I'm like, dude, they're like got like the whole enemy team to like 10% health, and then they switch targets to the next one. It's like no one was getting the kills.
Yeah. So we'll get there. We'll practice up. We'll progress. We didn't come in as if I can do great. I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like we definitely did better than I was kind of expecting.
I felt good about the way we played.
So, yep, improvements.
Oh.
We never claimed to be good at this game.
Right. I don't know. I had that quadra kill, that hot quadra kill.
Oh, that was hot.
After that, I mean, I was flying high. After that, I was good.
Yeah. You saw it. You saw it in game 1. You could tell we were a bit nervous about what all was going on at the start of. We kind of let him push us around at the beginning, early game in game 1, and then kind of mid we showed up and kind of did our thing, and then we fell apart again in late game. So split push.
High five, boys. High five. I'm looking forward to it though. I again, my overall conception was you guys played well, but again, like didn't come together as you need. But that's something that will come with time, and I think you guys, I'm gonna have to admit, I think you guys have some opportunities to open some eyes.
Let me give out a shout out to our subs, also the One Nation and Herg.
Yep, on standby.
On standby for us.
So,
yeah.
Now all we need is a coach. All we need is a coach, folks.
Yeah. We can come coach us. I'm telling you.
Kabam. I know you coach champions, son.
Come back to us.
Well, anyway, let's move on to update notes. The ruler of the heavens.
Oh.
The ruler of the heavens is upon us.
Yes. Ullaran showing up from South African folklore. We'd gotten hints earlier on in the year that we were probably going to see, and I talked about it actually one of the first couple of episodes, if I'm not mistaken, talking about an African pantheon is like the only thing we're really missing from Smite.
I'm going to say something. The one thing data miners ruin this god. Because High Res definitely, or Titan, try to do a cool thing and reveal him and send out puzzle pieces and stuff.
Yeah.
But everybody already knew who he was, so it didn't matter at that point in time.
Yeah, but that's really. But I gotta shout out to Hi-Rez for doing that. They've not done that before. And
I
that's
thought
the
That
thing-
was cool.
awesome.
I thought it was really awesome.
Yeah.
But it was a shame that it got ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, I missed the spoilers on that one and just enjoyed the puzzle pieces aspect of it. So high five.
Yeah. So Oleron shows up, and dude, he's like, yeah, first African pantheon god. He's now king of the gods, and his kit is something. So we're gonna start him off. Passive Touch of Fate. Upon reaching 150 magical power from items, Oleron gains 15% critical chance and a further 1% per 10 magical power from items. Oleron's critical hits only deal 50% increased damage. Additionally, Oleron gains 5% extra scaling on his basic attacks, and it caps out at 70%. So the fact that he caps out, and it's going to be hard to get to the full 70, but that's still, I mean, extra 5% scaling on basic attacks, and mages already do more damage to towers. That's a pretty sweet passive. I'm glad that it didn't start out with like a low crit chance like right out the gate. So it's not there, bright and early game, but they still made the threshold low enough that you'll start seeing the crit coming through in the autos about the first or second item mark, because they're like boots, Bancroft, and you're pretty much starting to work it there. His one focused light. Oleron charges an orb of pure energy for up to 2 seconds before firing it in front of him. The longer he charges, the further the projectile goes, passing through and damaging enemy minions, but stopping on colliding with enemy gods. So, good way to clear here. This ability can critically hit and provide stacks of overflowing divinity. Think like Merc one, but magical. Damage is 100 to 260 plus 55% of your magical power, and 12-second cooldown. That's pretty sweet damage on an ability that can crit.
Yep.
So
Ouch.
that means that means if he crits with it, at rank 5, it's going to do, what is that, 390 damage plus 55% of your magical scale, of your magical power.
Yes.
Pretty sweet.
Yes.
His 2, Overflowing Divinity. Oleron gains amplified attack speed. Every successful attack on an enemy during the buff provides his inner sun with energy. To cap at 20 stacks. During the buff, or for 4 seconds after, Oleron can refire this ability to conjure the sun to damage enemies in the area. The sun emits projectiles faster and more randomly with higher ammo. Hitting the same enemy deals 10% less damage each time, to a minimum of 80% reduction. This is one heck of a buff for a steroid. So the damage is 30 to 70 plus 10% of your magical power. Attack speed increase is 40%. Duration is 4 to 6 seconds, and cooldown is 14 seconds. So this is a crazy steroid. We've never seen a steroid like this. It's a steroid that can deal damage. It's not a lot because it's not meant to be. But a 40% at all ranks attack speed buff, pretty gnarly.
It's a lot of attack speed.
It's a lot of attack speed.
Although,
His 3?
honestly, some of the other attack speed stims, you'd be surprised at what they start at.
Oh, yeah. But usually it's like a scaling, especially on hunters. So his 3, Consecration. Oleron expends the light within himself, knocking back and damaging nearby enemies as well as slowing them for 2 seconds. So think Afro's Get Back plus a slow. Allies bathed in the light gain a heal over time that ticks every second for 5 seconds. For every ally healed, Oleron gains physical and magical protection.
Oh my god, I love this guy already.
Put Lotus Crown on him and hard carry healer. Top. The damage is 60 to 140 plus 20% of your magical power. Heal per tick is 10 to 30 plus 5% of your magical power. Protections is 8 to 16 per ally god healed. The slow is 20% and on a 14-second cooldown. So that's pretty gnarly. So you can have, 40, 50, 60, 74, it's like 70 somewhere around their protections if you manage to hit
All 5?
all your entire team.
It's not capped.
Yeah. So
It does also say every ally. In the thing it does say per ally god healed the protections. Okay.
Yeah.
It does say
So
in the top thing for every ally healed, but in the protection
Yeah.
slot it does say per god.
So that could be pretty interesting, for team fight scenarios. Jump on the Olorun with his full team around. He just gets gnarly protections, starts shredding while he heals people.
Yeah.
And for the first time in Smite, a crazy mechanic we're finally getting in Smite. Sanctified Field, his ultimate. Olorun brings forth Olodumare and Olofi, who travel outwards, creating a large area of divine energy that distorts the flow of time within. All enemies caught in the area are negatively affected by the time dilation, attacking, casting, and even animating more slowly. Olorun himself benefits from the sanctified field in a similar way. The strength of the divine field also impacts the effect of buffs, debuffs, projectiles, and deployables. So Olodumare and Olofu, I don't remember if I'm saying that one right. I haven't spent a lot of time with South African folklore, but those are other aspects of himself. So think like Vomit,
actually,
like Vavin, Robin.
Yeah, when he does his basic attacks, you can actually see the other forms with each attack. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay.
I didn't.
That was the only thing I managed
yet,
to watch though, because Mixer is broken and
Yeah.
I can't go back and
So,
watch it.
The wonky shit this ability decides to do, and the cooldown is crazy. So enemy debuff 40% slower, self buff 30% faster. So that's a 70% disparity. Duration's 5 seconds, which is pretty long. The cooldown 140 to 100. That's not a huge. I mean, that's a pretty substantial cooldown. But that's not terrible for what this does. How effective it's going to be in game, we'll see. But this also means that, if I'm not mistaken, casting relics is slower as well.
I don't really know how relics would
But
work with that because they're instant.
Yeah,
sounds really strong.
It slows
team
animation.
fights.
Yeah, that's just we'll have to see.
Did you get healed by the meditation when the wave hits you, or the instant that it's cast?
When the wave hits you, I think.
If it's when the wave hits you, then I would think that time slowing it.
Well, yeah,
was
that
slower
one
than
in
effective
particular.
you've been
But
able
what
to hit.
about like beads?
Yeah.
Is it going to be like I hit beads? Okay, beads went off, or is it going to be I beads?
I think beads would. Wait, is this beadsable?
I don't know.
Wow, that's a
Well, yeah,
hard
because it's just a
question.
slow. Really?
Shibalanque doesn't necessarily means it can be beads.
I don't know. I would think so, but
So,
like I said, I was having problems trying to watch the recast.
Yeah. So we'll see about that one. Either way, that 70% disparity, that's quite a bit of difference. This is also interesting. Kronos is the only other mage whose ult doesn't do damage. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
I think you're right there, unless you're talking about
Morgan.
No, Morgan's ult technically doesn't. Yeah.
I mean, X Balls doesn't do any damage.
Well, that's
Right.
he's not.
Well, I'm just saying, but for a mage, this is like he,
Oh, mage, yeah.
We're getting a new attacks and a new AA focused mage with some pretty slick abilities and brand new effects to the game. And with this crazy, I can't wait to see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. He could be underwhelming,
or he could be
I don't know.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
In my efforts to try to find something before dinner was ready, I had just found a Sexy Rexy video, and he was giggling like a little schoolgirl waiting for this to load. So I think he's probably going to be looking pretty sweet.
Yeah. So we'll see. But, new gods, new mechanics kind of happens.
I mean, everyone knows mages hit way harder than hunters, specifically because they're ability based versus like hunters are more auto based. Imagine that ability that already hits hard as hell. It's gonna crit. It's gonna crit now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mage is gonna crit.
We're just gonna make sure. I know what they're doing. They're trying to sabotage this podcast. We told them we wanted to get rid of the physical anti-crit because it only works against physical and blah, blah, blah. We wanted physical anti-heal. Well, now there's a magical with crit. They're undermining us.
The Underminer!
The Underminer!
So, moving on to our skins here. His recolor, Supreme, pretty good. I kind of, like, if you're not into that super bright, clean, crisp, white and gold aesthetic. The silver looks really good.
Yeah.
Skins, Smite wants me to take a second job out, I guess.
Yeah, Smite wants me to get not 1 but 3 jobs.
Yeah. Tigers, Fury, Achilles, our first skin.
That looks
Yo.
dope.
That
Yeah.
looks
So he's-
like fuck. Like, man, I want to play that so bad, dude. That looks like
Yeah.
fucking Khajiit from
Can't play
EverQuest.
him 'cause
Fucking
I'll ban
Skyrim.
him.
Like, just
Yep.
oh, that,
He's cat in one and one armor stance and human in another. Freaking
oh, dude,
looks
that's
great.
even better. Oh my god.
Yep. Death Lotus Daji.
This one's just kind
Yeah.
of a dodgy skin to me.
Yeah, it's kind of a dodgy skin. I like how they went with the ribbons for the tails.
Yeah.
It's kind of a new take with her, but she's been getting a lot of skins since she released, honestly.
It's cool, but it's just dodgy.
Yeah, Kali.
It kind of looks.
Kali bringing a new skin though.
The only thing I want to say about dodgy skins is they all look the same because they're all that same like generic version of her clothes. Like, I don't know. I'd like to see more changes.
Well, that's because of the animation they had to take out from other parts of the character model for the tails.
Yeah, for the tails.
I guess, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I understand
The
that.
Kali skin though. Kali getting a new skin, getting a sick skin.
Yeah, that looks so cool.
Yeah, these biohackers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that is just really cool looking. The color scheme looks like it's going to mesh really well.
Yep. And next up is Biohacker Chernobog.
They're really not fucking slacking these days, are they?
No.
Really
nah,
getting
boys.
kind of pissed off.
Yeah. So Biohacker Chernobog looks good. It's still kind of Chernoboggy, but a little tech theme. It's not bad. It's a little bit different from the rest of his skins he's gotten so far.
I think it
Yeah,
looks really
Chernobog
cool in the
was
card art.
God's. Yeah, he does. But he's one of those guys where, because of who he is, there's still things you can do with it, but it's always kind of going to be Chernobog too.
Yeah.
Just like the next one here with Discordia, you know.
So next one up is Clockwork Chaos Discordia. Let's not tell my wife about the skin, please.
She might go nuts.
Yeah.
And you'll be
Yeah,
stuck
'cause-
building those wings for the rest of your life.
No, actually, those aren't that bad to make.
Still, like, you're going to have to
This
make
skin,
those,
if
you realize.
you're into the steampunk aesthetic, this skin is just fantastic. I mean, and outside of that, it's still a good looking skin. It's still Discordia. They did a really good job with the animations and making everything fit that theme.
All my opinions are coming just from card art, but it looks fucking awesome on the card art. It really does.
Yeah. Speaking of card art, as it's been well stated here, I'm a big fan of folklore, and that also deals with mythological characters, mythological creatures, other crazy shit. Mothman AMC, Amuzin Cobb.
That
This skin, AMC support. All right, it's gonna have. We're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to figure out how to make it work. AMC support
What?
right here,
hey, his ult is a cripple and his 3 is a slow. It's good enough for me.
and then I can buy Frostbound Hammer and
Yeah. You get free
Forever
health ticks. We're making it work.
This skin is fucking.
I mean, that
epic.
just looks fucking phenomenal.
Yep. Speaking of phenomenal, the Vigilante Sasano skin here, not a slouch either.
Yeah. I mean, man, this just sucks. I want to buy them all. And I want to buy all the ones that
They're
came
just like
out the last
Pokemon.
2 patches.
Yep.
I'm just happy because I got the
Olurin's
Fox
Mastery
skin.
skins, and last but not least, they're going. All right, time to release our first, real skin for the Jormungandr.
Oh my
So we're
gosh.
going plushy Jormungandr.
That's awesome. I
That's
can't.
great.
I hope that.
The googly eyes. So he has
Oh, it's a chest.
he has
Damn it.
plush dead minions around him at all times as part of the animation set.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's fucking phenomenal.
This skin is great. My only minor complaint, this isn't really a complaint, this is just kind of a come on guys thing, is that the plush skin is Cuckoo.
It does look like
Like
Cuckoo.
It looks like Cuckoo. We could have, maybe done something a little differently. Still looks great though. It's not a knock on the skin.
Yeah.
Crap load of bug fixes coming in here.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Achilles fixed Achilles not being able to use ult if he doesn't have the mana for the initial cast.
That means the
So-
extra charges.
Yeah.
The extra charges don't cost mana, I don't believe.
Correct. So that's good. Wheelix
Yeah.
fixed Moonlight Charge Targeter to be consistent across all skins.
Thank God.
Medusa fixed Missing Fish FX for Sea-Made Medusa statues.
Oh.
There was a fish effect? Okay.
Well, it was missing.
Clearly.
Yeah. Can't wait to
Set-
see it.
Yep. Set Spawn T-posing under his pedestal when previewing the wave emote. Things you miss on PlayStation Island. Did we never see these bugs?
I wish.
Yep. Fixed set Sandstorm going on cooldown if interrupted before dashing.
Don't you mean instantly teleporting?
Yeah. The Morgan. Let's be fair. Fix the Morgan getting stuck in place if dying while in Jormungandr, the World Serpent.
Well, can
Well,
someone
don't worry,
come kill
guys.
me? I'm
Olarune's
stuck.
coming. Yep, Olarune's coming soon, so...
Imagine the fucking bugs of the Morrigan and Ullaron interacting.
Yep.
The Morrigan ults
Tier-
under Ullaron, and it's like two Chuck Norris roundhouse kicks meeting. And someone's viewing it on Spectator.
Dude, that's how the universe started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smite's responsible to the start of the universe. Our last bug fix
And
here
the end of the
for
last one.
characters
Oops.
is Tyr fixed a condition where if Tyr's power stance takes longer than someone's movement ability, then they'll be knocked up afterwards.
What?
Yep.
What? If Tyr's
I-
power
it-
stance,
again?
is that his push?
I think that's what they're talking about, yeah.
Takes longer than someone's movement ability. So if someone dashes away and he Fearless is behind them, they might still
They'll
get knocked up?
at the end of
Okay.
their animation.
Gotcha.
Kind of like being rooted at the end of the animation.
Yeah.
You know, the top UI thing, thank you. Please don't break it again.
Yeah. UI fixes. Fix players not being notified when a booster is activated. Good. Fix an issue where ranked lobby borders from God leaderboards would not display for console ranked queues. Was showing for casual queues. Good. Fix an issue in store where localized clients could not search for items in English. Fix custom input VGS menu causing the keyboards scene to persist.
Didn't have that.
Fix new Clash red camps stating they are blue camps on the map guides.
Oh.
Removed the buff duration timer for speed of elixir.
Thank you.
Because, yeah, didn't need to be
It's
there.
superfluous.
Fixed rank split
Just
menu.
like my nipple.
Yep. Fixed rank split menu not displaying progress towards quests for 15 or 50 games. Console. Fixed God rental purchase options not aligned right. Or on PC.
When
where we
it
had a
completely
crash.
breaks 5 people's games.
That just
Yeah.
reminds me. That just reminds me that Yuri used the last of his favor last night to buy Ratataskar.
Yes!
Oh my god, we didn't mention
In our
that.
league.
Yuri
He got
used
Rat
the
in the
last
lobby.
of his favor to buy Ratataskar to play in the tournament game during the custom tournament game. He loaded in, we're on the pedestals, and he's like, shit, we didn't ban Rat. I'm buying him. And just fucking... We
You're
cracked
crazy.
up because, like, we didn't know until we were loading in. He's like, by the way, I just bought Rat. Like, literally,
Yeah.
the last of my favorite. Oh my god. We're a fucking train wreck, but we'll get back together pretty quick here, I think. Once we actually get to do something.
Right?
Well, you know, people that observe a train wreck do watch it.
Yes. So, keeping on with our UI fixes here, Spectator. Anyway, Spectator fixed the Fire Giant pedestal, experiencing Z fighting after the Fire Giant spawns and the pedestal is lowered into the ground.
Z fighting? Is that like Dragon Ball Z style fighting? Like, whoa, 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 like both of them are fucking
They
duking
might
it
be
out to
talking
see who
about-
stays up?
They might be talking about it glitching in the Z axis, so the vertical space.
Yeah.
Spectator, in collapsed view, fix the water effects near Middle Phoenix clipping into the ground.
Okay.
That's unfortunate.
Awesome.
I love those.
Fix mixer point appearing blank in the notification center.
How about fix mixer?
Yeah, let me fix mixer.
High five.
Fixer mixer,
PS4
please.
Yeah, PS4 fix players not being notified when a booster is activated.
Thank you.
Thank
Yep,
God.
thank you. Fixed profile page showing more gods owned than are active in the game.
Okay.
Sure.
Nice.
Fixed commendation screen cutting off for 21 by 9 resolutions.
Okay.
So a little bit of overscanning issue there from the looks of it.
Interesting stuff, but again, please keep the booster notifications fixed. That would be awesome.
They've come and gone a few times now.
Oh.
Yeah, it seems to be a common one.
Oh, this next thing I'm reading is pretty sick.
Yeah,
well, why don't you tell us about it then, Dan?
That's a lot to read. Wow.
Oh, you asked to.
All right.
I got you, Dan. Let me tell you, Dan. Let me tell you about Project Olympus. Let me tell you a story about Project Olympus.
I want to hear about it.
Oh wait, there's.
So you ready for this console lobby communication? Console players will now be able to access.
No, wait. What about the thing above it?
I don't give a shit about the thing about it.
I thought that was cool.
Wow.
Fine, I'll read you the whole story.
You don't have to read the whole
version.
story, but like,
God.
sum it up.
Towards the end of last year, we made a decision to shift more of our attention to raising the bar on our skin deliverables. So,
Dan, I think you should just tell him what the cool part was, and then let him go to his cool part.
Okay, the cool part is they're making cool card arts and stuff. Go, you do your cool thing.
Yeah, the summary is that they've decided to spend less time on the animations for like the victory and defeat screen and put those resources and time and effort into the skin animations, and card arts. Good.
The end of the match lobby animations?
Yeah,
so they won't have that anymore?
No, they just won't be as elaborate.
Okay.
Like some of the early gods, like they've got like pretty big loops.
Gotcha.
Of things going on. Console lobby communication. Console players will now be able to access a unique set of text-only VGS commands in the console lobby to communicate with each other. They also can access a custom message through this VGS menu in the same way console players can chat without each other in-game.
I think that was supposed to be with. Like with each other.
Yeah.
Who typed this on their phone? Fucking autocorrect.
So you'll be able to use the text to like kind of strategize a little more on picks or something. Like that.
So you can be like, oh my god, Mercury troll pick.
Yeah. Next up is our social. Friends list now has a decline all button on the request section.
That's nice for like big streamers because they were having a lot of problems where the more friend requests they had, it would actually clog their game up to the point where it would run slower.
Yep.
And crash a lot.
Yep. Note, all pending friend requests will be wiped when the Ruler of the Heavens update goes live. So when this update goes live, any requests you have floating around will be gone. And Vivox voice communication is now supported on Nintendo Switch. Yay. Switch! They can talk.
Go Switch!
They can tell each other horrible things during the game.
Have you seen the instructions to hook up a microphone system to the Switch? Oh my god!
Look, I love Nintendo consoles. That's one thing they've never been good at: a microphone. Seriously.
I mean, like thinking back, I'm like GameCube. Nope.
No, there was a mic for the GameCube. No, there was a mic for the GameCube.
Yeah, there is. But like, have I ever even like thought about it or used it? No. Because it's just like, not something you really think like, oh, I'm playing Mario Party with my 4 friends at my house. I need my mic in. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really think of mics at all with them, so I kind of understand that.
Yeah. So next up, and this is pretty big, for matchmaking, significant changes have been made to the matchmaker in relation to crossplay matchmaking. Players will now be much more likely to only match with players of their own input type, unless you are queuing in a cross-play party or a significantly low population region / game mode. So they're trying to make it a little more not like, you end up with 4 people playing on console and then against 5 people on KBM, which is good.
Mm.
So cross-play parties will match with the input type that has the majority of the party is using. If the KBM versus gamepad player is tied, they go to keyboard and mouse. So as long as your console, your controller players are greater than your console or keyboard, you're more likely to match with other people using controller. If you're tied, then keyboard and mouse takes priority, which is fine. home screen, they updated UI art to remove the flames highlighting on the text selections and replace it with something sleeker. Cool.
So Yuki, now that you've been playing these, I see that they're going to change them.
This is all fucking sweet.
Good to hear.
Naja getting that kit adjustment that's been going around from character to character. And these are pretty sick. So Universe Ring Toss fixed an issue where the ring would not bounce to or from certain targets. E.g., this should fix the cases where Loki decoil would absorb the ring. Good. Because you never knew if I threw that ring at that Loki decoil if I was going to get the bounce or not. So that's awesome.
Right.
Flaming Spear, the 2, fixed an issue where sometimes Naja would fire off an extra basic attack animation based on using Flaming Spear. Yep. Seen that a lot. Good. Here's where Armillary Sash has a fucking paragraph, and it's great.
Holy.
This ability now applies a stun with no diminishing returns. This means that it should always last the same amount of time, fixing situations where Naja could use Armillary Sash and the target could move out of the way before he reaches the location. You'd see this a lot with dashes. So you'd sash somebody as they start dashing, and they'd skip ahead a little bit, and you'd miss the damage.
Or even you'd see it like, say an Amir freezes him first, and then you sash him. You might not hit.
Yep. This is consistent with specific other stun effects that have a scripted animation time, e.g. Sobek's Charge Prey. Fixed an issue where using this ability on gods who were in the process of being knocked up would also cause Naja to be in the air upon reaching that target, which I always thought was kind of funny, but, it's a fix, so it's fixed.
Can I just throw in a quick interrupt here? Because Dan and I were playing, and I was playing Al Kwong in Assault, and Dan was Hell. And I don't know what exactly happened here, but I was trying to ult Artemis under their tower. She was knocked up in the air. I was knocked up in the air. I was cleansed from the knock-up, and then still while up in the air, we were both up in the air, I was actually able to ult in and pluck her out of the air and go up. It was actually just like thematically very cool looking.
Yeah.
And that reminded me of it. So, all right, sorry.
Looked very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Dirtnap Dad doing a little kung fu fighting.
Right.
It was just cool.
Yeah. So now Naja will reach the target and deal damage while still on the ground. Fixed an issue where the area of effect damage of this ability will sometimes miss targets that are in the air but within the hit area. So that's good. Seen that a few too many times. It's a bummer. Fix an issue where quickly turning the camera while using this ability would cause the hit area and the FX to be desynced, leading to situations where the player does not look like they should hit an enemy, but they do. And note, on researching the solution for this issue, we were also able to successfully apply the same fix to Raw and Searing Pain. Now the effects and the damage... Yeah, so when you're like, how did he hit me? Well, now you know why.
Because his beam will be like fucking 2 yards to the left, and you're like,
yep,
I'm dead? Hello?
Yep. And they added new effects to this ability to clearly portray the area of effect damage when Naja reaches the target. This applies to all skins. Whew. So, big ol' updates there. And then lastly, his ult. They adjusted the bounding area of the UI element in this ability so that they will no longer have the chance to be hidden behind Naja's passive meter UI, which is nice. Fixed an issue where Naja was able to slide past an enemy instead of correctly latching onto them. How many times have we been like, how did that miss? And you just went past them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big... I can't tell you how many times I've had an ult drop where literally you see it and you just feel and look like you're sliding around the outside of the character. So that's great.
I just did that just the other day. I'm like, I don't know how I missed that. I literally went straight through him. Yeah.
And fix an issue with the effects for this ability where the last few feet of the targeter was raised in a slope. This caused perspective issues, making it feel like the ability targeter was longer than intended. In our last...
Dude, the Scylla
Yeah, last
No.
fix, Scylla.
Mm.
Updated ability icon art.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah, after she busted you guys up so hard last night.
Oh my
Shut
god.
up.
I have nightmares
New
about that shit,
icon
dude.
art. Dude, guy, I felt bad for you.
It was rough, man. That was rough.
And then not only did I feel bad for you, but y'all didn't pick her banner in the second game, and
Yeah.
you had to go through it all again.
See, I thought she fell off. I'm not. She was awesome, but I thought she fell off in the first game.
Oh yeah, she
Towards
had
the end, I thought she
really
fell
good
off a
first
little
game.
bit. Second game, dude, she never fell off. She dominated that second game.
hmm
Alright, so anyway, we got some items coming up here. So they are updating Odysseus bow, so decreasing the
updating.
damage.
This is a rip.
Yeah. They're changing some items. This is a decrease. That's a decrease, right?
hmm
Yes, it
This
does.
is a nerf.
Yes. That's what I am stating, that this is a negative effect. 30 to 15 is a nerf. And then, of course, charge bow, 20 down to 15.
And that's on the base damage. So that doesn't do with the scaling. That's just on the base
The
damage,
base,
which
yes.
is it's fine. Odysseus has been really strong. Nobody was picking it up, and they buffed it, even when it was still a good item, which is kind of what brought it into prominence. Still going to be a pretty good DPS efficient item. It's still
And
really
it's always
strong in
annoying
team
as
fights.
hell.
Yep, it's still really strong in team fights. This next change, this is pretty big. So Malice, decrease the cost from 3,000 to 2,650, making it really interesting to look at building now.
That is a
Including
lot of gold.
yeah, and including they also increase cooldown reduction from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. So they were trying to encourage this new play style using crit with Malice and abilities.
It's too bad that
and not just-
Oleron can't build Malice.
Yeah. But it was always really like when you look at it and you're like, okay, I could get Malice, or I could just get Deathbringer. You get Deathbringer because it was 3,000 gold. So this is good. We definitely have to experiment with this item, especially because I like Naja support and Bruiser Naja. Circuit's gonna look at this, and some other people have some really interesting time to look at with this. Next up, another item getting a pretty big cost reduction, Doomward. I don't know about everyone else here. I do love the stats on Doomward. I just don't feel like you gain enough going from tier 2 to tier 3.
Yeah,
Tier 2
I feel
Doomward
like
is really
Doomward was like this really cool sounding fucking awesome item when I was hearing about it, but it was so expensive.
Yeah.
So much
So-
to go from that tier 2. It was too much. I couldn't.
So they decreased the cost from 3,200 to 3,000. Still expensive, not obscenely expensive.
It's like
now.
Ratatouille
So-
now.
It's raw to Hootie now.
Yeah, which is kind of what it's supposed to be an alternative to.
Mm-hmm.
Because potentially it can crank out more damage than Tahuti.
I'll tell you what, these are
potentially.
still pretty big chunks of gold.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, 200, that's a lot. That's 4
I
potions.
remember back in the defend middle lane days, it was always 100 gold, 50 gold. It was just like, it's just like, I don't care. That's so little. And now we're talking 200, 350. That's a much bigger chunk. Now my eyes are opening a little bit more. Like, okay, that makes a difference.
Next up is Rod of Asclepius, Rod of Healing. Updated description to better convey this item only affects healing abilities. The functionality of this item has not changed. This next one, this is pretty big. This has a little icon next to it because our Olympians made this happen. And we'll go into a little more on that. So Gem of Isolation, decreased movement speed slow from 25% to 20%, and decreased movement speed slow duration from 2 seconds to 1 second.
Rip Gem of Isolation, boy.
Thank God.
So yeah, I think it's going to specifically apply to like Tit Gods are still going to be pretty good with it, because they can reapply it, so they're not losing that 50% duration loss. But I mean, this is kind of more targeted towards, and I really do think this is targeted towards Merlin abusing it really heavily. Targeting the item, I'm not. I'm still fine with it. I still think Gem is really strong, and I like this change for balance. But I still think I don't think Merlin's going to care because he applies it so much, so consistently, so often that him using it's not going to change much. I still think Merlin needs.
I
nerfs
don't
in
know
that
why,
respect.
but I just feel disappointed that they're doing this. Like, I kind of liked it. It's a frustrating item, but at the same time, I will use it just as much to frustrate my enemies.
Yeah,
I
think
liked it too because it was a choice you made to buy that item and you lost out on something else by buying that
Yeah,
item.
because
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
I think you're going to see a bigger impact on Guy Opwatch.
Oh,
that
that's
slow
exactly what I was thinking.
Yep.
Yep.
If you hit him, if you try to full kit him, Gem ISO was really what helped you confirm damage.
Right.
But now that's cut in half, so you hit them and they've lost the slow by the time the rest of the damage gets there and they walk out. I think that's what we're going to see.
Well,
but-
I'm sure Guy will be able to give us a report on that as much as he plays out Quash.
I'm genuinely looking to hear what you think about the.
I almost busted him out that second game last night. I wish I would have.
Guy's holding the ace up his sleeve.
Yep.
Well, now they know.
Achilles.
If they check out the podcast, they'll know. They're like, oh, God, we got to ban Outwatch.
I'll edit that part out.
No one will know who we're talking about. So our next balance change is Achilles, who just got nerfs, and now he's getting some buffs. Gift of the Gods. Protections per level increased from 1.5 to 2. So a nice little... They've been this has been a thing that's been going on since his release. We talked about it when he was released, and that was how crappy the armor stance was versus the offensive stance.
Especially in the meta
And I
we're
think-
in. But I think we're moving
Yeah.
into a tankier one and a healier one.
Yeah.
So
So
I like healer metas.
I
And we're
like
still
healer
seeing a lot
metas
of
because it's
balances
still
around
bursty, but it's also like if you're skillful, you can, out heal the burst, and then it's like a sustained fight. But at low levels,
Yeah.
it'll still be a shit show.
Yeah, so like if you're like up against that enemy Ra, and you're in arena and you're dancing around the column, and as you come around the column, he predicted exactly which side you're going to come out on, and he Ra alts you, but you have that one hit point left, that the healers can come in and help get you back to Fountain.
Is that clear in your mind right now? That happened in an arena game where we were practicing
All right,
together
friends.
on PC.
I am hopping off here. I gotta go.
All right, man.
See you, Guy.
See ya.
Hi, Guy.
Okay. So Achilles' second adjustment for this patch is
Well, hold
shield-
on a second, though, Yuki. I don't want to digress too far here, but Dan, I think you deserve a moment here to defend yourself.
Look, I predicted him perfectly. I was like 1 HP going in and out of this pillar trying to get this Shibi, and I predicted it perfectly. As soon as he came around the pillar, just on the edge with the Raul, he survived with 1 HP, hit me with an Aussie basic, crit me, and I died. And he gained like half his health. Awesome.
by anti-heal.
Awesome. I think I had it. Maybe that was too early. I don't know.
It was just
Anyway.
funny because, dude, and the fight broke out there, but his team just showed up. It was, and off he went, and I felt bad for Dan, but it was funny.
So Shield of Achilles, since we've talked about 3 gods, not Achilles, in the last 2 minutes, increased fall-off damage from 70% to 85%. So his shield is kind of getting a little bit of a buff, which is not an insubstantial amount. We'll see how it feels in game on that one. Rip Yuri's heart, Alquang,
Mm-hmm.
getting some adjustments. I don't think this is soup. There's one in here that's big. The others aren't terrible. Basic attacks, fixed text of final swing. It's a full 1 second, just with a shorter pre-fire animation. So, Dragon Call, decreased slow on range attack from 30% to 20%. Not terrible. Usually this is kind of used. The slow is kind of used to catch somebody. Get that last slow. On
Honestly,
there to get the
a lot of
execute.
times too, that ability is used to clean up a long range kill that got away after the first time you used it with his new passive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can use it, but then your passive kind of resets that cooldown pretty quick, and then if they get away, you can kind of use it again if you chase them a little bit.
This next one, though, this is the one that hurts. Wild Storm, decreased cooldown from 7 to 9 seconds.
Yeah, that's going to hurt really bad.
You're sitting there thinking to yourself, well, 7 to 9 seconds, still a really short cooldown, but that's his primary clear tool.
Yeah, that's going to slow his clear down so much, and his early game clear is already le poo-poo.
Yeah. So that hurts. However, my girl, one of my
This is
favorite
some interesting stuff.
of all time, Athena, Shield Wall, increased initial damage from 60 to 200 to 70 to 230, and decreased explosion damage from 80 to 360 to 70 to 330. So the damage numbers stay the same. They're just shifting it so that there's a little more damage on the initial and a little less damage on the explosion. So if you still get the initial hit and the explosion, same amount of damage, just there's a little more front loaded, which is actually really nice for clearing waves, and just kind of like a lot of times you end up using the shield wall just as a thing outside of clearing wave. So that's pretty good. I like that. It's a positive change. And the next one, her preemptive strike. Slow duration increased from 1.25 seconds, scaling to 2.25 seconds, to 2.25 seconds at all ranks.
That's
That's big.
I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty big that she's getting a 2.25 second slow at all ranks now. Because it used to be like you always wanted that slow, but having to level it over your taunt or your shield wall sucked for a longer slow.
I'm excited about both these.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. And I think this is partially because we're not seeing her a lot, but also not really her meta. We saw her a bit last season, but especially towards the beginning, but this isn't really her meta, so I think that's more why we're not seeing her, but I'll take anything they want to give to my girl. Next up is the Puppers Cerberus.
Puppers!
Yep. So Soul Explosion, decreased health of Soul from 95 to 235 to 60 to 220, and increased heal per god from 30 to 110 to 40 to 140. So they're taking it off the heal off of the souls he reaps and put it into the second half of the ability. I think it's a positive change.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's awesome too, because sometimes, man, I'd be like, dude, I have to basic this ghost like 6 fucking times. Like, I don't have time for this.
It's always 3.
Is it always 3? I just feel sometimes I miss
It just feels
too.
like forever.
It just feels like
it feels
forever
like
because you don't have any attack speed unless you have shoguns for your carries or anything, and I don't know. I just don't like those sometimes. Although killing them with my flames, they're awesome because then it's like insta death and you get like that big heal.
Yeah. And then the last changes to the ultimate, Stygian Torment, decreased cooldown from 115 to 95 seconds to 100 seconds at all ranks. Cool. I think it's a positive change. Really, you're using this as a CC in Conquest. In other game modes, you're looking for that big Ares-like pull. But a lot of times, let's be fair, the knockup's what gets them killed.
Yeah. I very rarely used it to pull a group of people to a spot. It was like, for me, it was secure kills with that. Either kill them with the initial damage of it, or get that knock up, just that second for my team to be able to catch up, and then all right, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, not too many get pulled by those abilities anymore at our level.
There's always a wall, a corner, an ability in there, something. Thor coming in to save his team with a wall.
Beads in general.
Yeah.
Next up here is Next up here is another one of our Olympian changes. I'm looking at you, Fro. I'm just gonna assume it was you, because Kakolin, Barb Spear's Ground Slam, increased scaling from 45 to 55%. I'm actually totally fine with this. I think it's good for him. But yeah, I saw the Olympian sticker. I'm just like, yeah, it was
Kukulane carry.
Yeah.
Here we come.
Yeah, so I think this is a positive change because that's part of his his primary wave clear, help him out. So that's good. Friggin' Freya, she should be Freya. So Northern Lights fixed an issue where she was healing with this ability for more than intended. No, I think this has to do with the amount of damage she's doing, but this is a good change.
Seems like they've fixed this before too. Like she was healing even more.
Every time
She's
they do
still
a
healing
re-kit,
too much.
every time they do a re-kit. Rip Guy, he's been playing Hebo a lot, and so Hebo, who's been showing up in jungle and solo more, getting some nerfs.
Oh, maybe these
water
abilities aren't quite so alt-worthy anymore.
No,
Yeah,
they're
just
still
kidding.
all worthy. Water Cannon decreased damage from 70 scaling to 290 to 70 scaling to 270. So a little bit in the late game. Still plenty of damage in the early game. I'm actually glad they left the level 1 damage the same and then changed everything after that.
Yeah, it makes more sense. I like that.
So that's good. It doesn't hurt his wave clear as much, which is fine. And then Atlas of the Yellow River, they removed the Infinite Cleanse. No, I'm kidding. That would be awesome. Decreased movement speed and slow from 30 to 50% to 25 to 45%. It's still the cancer carpet. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the right direction. And honestly, that's not what bugs me about the carpet and the slow and the sprint and the speed boost. It's everything else. So, but I'll take what I can get with that movement ability. Horus, next up on the list. This one's a big change. I think it's a big positive right step without going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Updraft, they decreased cooldown from 18 to 14 to 16 to 14 because it took a month and a half to get your wave clear back. 18 seconds was ridiculous.
Yep.
Next up, Jormungandr. No surprise here. He's been,
Big.
Boo.
big
Hey,
snake making a
Jormungandr's
big
been pretty big.
Hey. So, the change they went with here, maybe more targeted towards pro and high level, because otherwise we don't see this a lot. But Consuming Bellow decreased bonus damage from 20 to 60 to 20 to 40, and that's the damage from the pools.
So what were you saying? We don't see what?
You don't see that bonus damage as much as you would like. It's just a hard of his kit compared to his one. It's harder.
I mean,
it's harder to confirm the damage.
I mean, it's what I level up first because that's how you pop people.
It's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking mechanically.
I'm with you now.
I think the damage from his one. But again, it's a good change. I do understand it. If you hit the puddles and get the extra damage, it does quite a bit. So I can see the change. Although I think a lot of the damage from him typically comes from the one in the ult, especially the ult. But we'll see. We'll see if he gets any more changes. He's still going to be pretty strong.
Beagle, you got one. You got one.
What?
Kepri's up next.
Oh.
The hug bug.
She was like, "What?
Like, I got what?
I don't know. I didn't
Beagle's
do
like,
it."
oh, right, we're
I
recording.
forgot.
It's like, did I
was
lag?
here.
Did I miss something? I got what?
You just forgot you were here. That's all.
No, I just thought you meant that. I just thought like I totally missed something. I thought maybe the call lagged or something.
Well, we have your attention so that you won't miss this.
Yes, because
Khepri.
Khepri, your favorite.
Yep. Rising Dawn increased damage from per tick from 10 to 22 to 10 to 26.
Khepri carry.
Yeah. Khepri carry OP confirmed.
Oh,
Solar
no.
Flare.
Baby.
Don't tempt me.
This
It will be
this
bad.
is a big one. I mean, really.
Big.
Solar Flare decreased cooldown from 16 to 14 seconds.
2 seconds
That's big.
reduction is way bigger than anyone realizes.
Hold up, wait. I also just realized this though. I actually, you know what I seen yesterday?
What you see?
Yesterday, I that's not what I meant to say at all. I just.
What did you mean to say?
What I saw yesterday, while you guys were playing your game, I logged in Smite to get my daily login at least, and I saw, like, Conquest was at, like, maybe, 10 seconds. I was like, why not? I'm bored. And they had a Khepri mid. It did not work out for them at all.
No.
That poor
mid.
Khepri. Especially when after we got ahead in dual lane, we kept ganking him. Poor Khepri.
Oh my!
I mean, Khepri's pull is tragic without defenses.
Yeah.
It
is a
but the
ripperoo.
root, because you typically want the root as your early game as the first of the CC abilities you take on him. That root being on a shorter cooldown is really big for that laning phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty sweet. And then the ultimate just fixed the text so that it tells you that it doesn't revive executed targets. Because if you're a newer player, or you don't play a lot of Khepri, or you don't know what's going on 100% with his abilities, you'll be like, oh, he's under the threshold, let me ult. What the fuck? He died anyways. It's never stopped executes. It's just now they actually put it in writing where you can
We
read
had a
it.
game the other day where it was like, I think every executor in the game was in that assault game.
Yeah.
Executor.
It was a mess.
Set getting some changes here as well. Relentless increased duration from 4 to 5 seconds and fix a description error. With this listed, it lasted for 3 seconds. It was actually lasting for 4 seconds. So Relentless gets a 1 second buff. That's good. And Kingslayer, the ult, decreased pre-fire animation from 0.8 to 0.33 seconds. That's huge, because nothing was suckier than hitting ult and then being like, okay, now I can go in. So that pre-fire animation, and that's not a little bit of time off the pre-fire animation. That's really big. So look to see more sets, more ulting, more on you more often. So we'll see what he does. It'll be interesting to see where he's still in a weird spot. I still think he's really strong, just really awkward. And once people learn to work around that.
I don't know. I'm just scared because I looked ahead at the next one.
Ooh, I want to be scared.
So our last balance change here is Weimer himself, Baron von Frostchild. Frost Breath, reduced cooldown from 18 to 16 seconds.
That's big.
Yep.
That's
a
that's
lot.
big.
That's a lot. On Weimer, that's a lot.
You know, Dan, which game was that? Oh, I was playing Ardio and Assault. And I'm like, shit, they had a Ymir on the other side. So I'm like, all right, I got to pay attention because, Ardio's likes to be up in the mix and Ymirs can be problematic. So I'm like, all right, let me identify them. So I'm running out. We're going into the engagement. And I'm like, Dan, where the fuck's the Ymir? He had that fucking, what they call the skin? One where he's a big ass dwarf. I don't know the actual name of it, but he was that, and I totally just it didn't even register that was Ymir at first. So I'm like kind of in, and like I'm just going to use my dash to go back to the team, and we'll start this engagement a few seconds later because I was completely out of position at that point. Because
wait, you were out of position? No,
actually, when I was watching the games last night, I kind of remember the announcer saying Dirtnap Dan was out of position. Yes. Which was funny because I had just unmuted it because I was talking with Dirtnap's
To be
mom.
fair, that's a genetic trait. It runs in the family.
So he walks in the room, I unmute it, and I get Dirtnap Dan was out of position.
Yeah, well, whatever.
It's genetic. He learned it from his dad.
Yeah. Apple.
It most certainly is.
That's our patch notes. Some exciting changes, some bummer changes, and some hype as hell changes. A lot of adjustments.
So I'm excited for the new god. I think he looks interesting, and I will definitely be, searching out some more videos on him. Now that dinner's done and recording's done, and I can find a place that works with, able to play the video back properly. So I'll hop on over to YouTube and check that out. The skins, I think they're doing great with. I don't know. I mean, overall, I think I'm pretty happy with where this patch is going. I mean, the only really bad thing was the Gem of ISO and Jormungandr nerfs.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
I get it. I probably will be too, especially with the gem, but I always appreciated the item. So I don't know.
Yeah. Me too, but you like and it's still a good change, even though I'm not I'm behind it 100%, but still kind of it kind of sucks a little bit. But you gotta think about think of a Merlin or an Opwatch or a Poseidon, and the difference in play and counter playability before and after they have that item online. The instant they get that item online.
Yeah.
And it's just now I just, get irritated. So 5%. Again, that's not a huge decrease in the slow, which I'm glad they hit the duration more than the slow percentage.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I agree.
And bug fixes on nausea.
Hey, Naja.
Hell yeah.
What do you think, Beagle?
I mean, I'm excited to see this new magical carry, because I'm bored of my hunters.
Yeah. And it'll also give me opportunity to work on my physical supports.
Exactly.
That's only our third magical carry.
Yeah, that's true. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to add diversity like that, especially.
The only magical carry I really like is Soul. Like, I don't like Freya. Like, I don't know. I don't like Freya. I'm not good with her. And I hate Cronus. So...
I like Cronus.
I suck as Cronus, so I don't like him either.
I'm weird with Cronus. I'm either like awesomely on point or horribly off it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just...
Yeah, I kind of have days where I'm so on, it's ridiculous. And then there's other days where it's like, damn.
There's just, like, no in-between, you know?
Yeah.
Dan,
you know there's a stun in your kit, right?
Dan, you know that if you stun them and then use your one, you'll hit them more often, right? I'm practicing. Leave me alone. I'm working on my aim. God.
Yeah, actually, roughly, you can get 2 ones out to your stun, though.
Yeah. And
So,
I don't think we've had our big mid-season patch yet, have we?
I don't know. Patching's been all weird this year.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be like that. I mean, there should still be that big mid-season patch, and if it is, it should be up soon.
I don't know. I was just looking at our fantasy points here. I don't feel so bad anymore.
Oh?
Yeah, I don't.
What's that?
I'm ahead of Yuki.
Ooh.
Oh, for the fantasy. Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah. Not only am I ahead of Yuki,
I'm
only points behind Guy Almighty.
but I'm way ahead of him.
But meanwhile, Dirtnat Dan is way ahead of the rest of us, but still far behind.
I can't stand it, man. I can't even look at it. Oh, it makes me so mad. What do you mean 850 points? What do you mean?
Dicey, he's not the top in the league. He's not the top scorer in the league. I do see 900 here, but like, where is it? 901.
He's in it. Yeah, he's in it, though.
Yeah. There's not many people that are in that range. Actually, him and Smitten have the same exact points, 847.
Ooh. But
That's
Smitten
interesting.
didn't auto-draft.
All right. Well, hey, we are skipping this week's session of progression due to wanting to get through all the patch notes here for you all right off the bat. So we will be skipping that here today. But I do, want to give props out to the guys here that have come together to form the team here. So I'm really looking forward to this season and just kind of, as much as I wanted to be a part of the team, it just wasn't an option right now. And now I just get to sit back and enjoy y'all going through it. So it's been, it's been fun so far, and I'm really looking forward to it. What are you guys thinking about this?
I think it's great. When we got done with that set, I distinctly remember saying first thing, that was the kind of Conquest I never get to play in casual.
I remember walking up to lane. This is going to be very vivid, very good. Now imagine you're on your PC, the map's loading in, so it's all kind of claymation still. And you're walking up to lane, you're just exiting Phoenix. I remember saying to everybody, guys, this is probably the coolest feeling that I've ever felt. Like, this is really cool.
Yeah. I think this is...
You know what it is? It's 5-man ranked play.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's what's so awesome. It's like, it's finally what I always wanted is a 5-man team of people cooperating and, like, wanting to learn and be better to compete. And instead of, like, well, we played a Conquest and MMR sucked dick, so we got owned, and now we're all going to get off and cry in our beds. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, you won 3 games in a row here. Play against these elite players.
Play against these
you got your ass kicked?
grandmasters. You got your ass kicked? Well, play
It's
against some
not
more.
even that.
You'll get it.
It's Yeah, it's 5-man ranked. We get the picks bands. We get to play as a 5-man. American Zombie got bit by the Conquest bug. I enjoyed it. Like, this is like I always talked about, like, I never feel like I enjoy Conquest because it's always some stupid, weird shit. And this felt like a good game of what Conquest can be. And I'm just not, in lower ranked play, which I just get frustrated so quickly with it that I'm just like, I'm out. And I don't play ranks that much because of it. And casual Conquest is the furthest side of clusterfuck from reality 90% of the time. It's like, we'll go into the game, all right, we got a good team comp, they have 19 hunters, what the fuck? And it wasn't like a pure steamroll, and that's gonna happen. That's probably gonna happen at some point, one way or the other, playing this league. But the other thing is, it was not just. My other problem with Conquest is it is 100. It's just a longer version of a frustrating steamroll,
Right.
one way or the other way, or the other most of the time. And this was, it's like we lost. They built momentum at the end of both games and beat us, but
it was
there were
back and
times in
forth. There were
both
times in both games too where we honestly thought, like, okay, maybe we could turn things around a little bit on this.
Yeah,
Dude, that quadra kill in the first game, I'm like,
if that was a little later, we won the game right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like I saw it and then I looked up. I'm like, oh, they're going to get some towers out of this at least. Like, damn, I was like hoping that was that moment.
Because that would have been so awesome. We definitely would have been like super hype about that.
Yeah. So it was good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, and watching you guys, and just even watching you guys talk about it, in the Discord, in your own little private channel and whatnot. But, hey, it's just been awesome to watch the different the emotional ride that you guys have been on with it, from the nerves to the excitement.
Oh my God, I was shaking like a little bitch.
He was. Yes,
I think I missed like 4 abilities in a row at one point because my hand was shaking so bad because I was so nervous.
Yeah. And then you settled in. And then you settled into a game of Smite.
Yeah.
You
had some good moments.
Yeah, I just need to settle into the whole, it doesn't matter that I'm being broadcast. Like, I'm just playing Smite.
Yeah, you're just playing Smite. Yeah.
That's the only thing that's kind of was like, okay. People are watching me feed right now. Not only are they watching me feed, they're judging me and feeding in chat, and I know it.
Don't worry, I judge you every time you feed.
They're going to be able to watch you feed
with announcers
down the road here because the VODs are out there. We have tweeted them, and it is up in our Discord.
Yeah, sadly. No, it's cool.
And once it's out on the internet,
use it as a learning experience. Watch our game, figure out what we did wrong, figure out what they did right. It'll make you a better player. We're going to do it. It'll make us better players.
Yep. Because the one thing I promised going into all of this, I promised everyone here, I promised when I joined the Exilium chat for Discord, is the one thing I promise is we will not drool on our keyboards.
Yeah.
You promised that?
I promised. And we did not drool on our keyboards.
I didn't. There was a couple times where I fumbled, but, I didn't drool. I sucked it back up. I was like, get back in there.
That fool, oh God, what was the Adam Sandler movie, Big Daddy?
Yeah.
With the kid?
Yeah.
Like all the way to the ground?
Scuba Steve! Damn you!
Let's sign out here, boys.
Yep.
And Beagle.
So, hey, it's just some real quick pointers per the normal. Make sure you're hitting those subscribe buttons. Follow us on the Twitters. Join our Discords. We've been giving away lots of skins, some battle passes, and all that. And I just want to make sure that, hey, if you're listening to the show, that means you like Smite. Here's your opportunity to get some stuff for free and have at it. So, follow us, join in the Discord. I appreciate everybody that has lately. Again, it's just every week, just, more and more people are coming and the numbers have been rising. And the other day I kind of looked at the numbers and I'm like, whoa,
yeah.
I missed a step where we went from, this lower number to a little bit of a higher number here. And I was like, ew, gave me a good feeling that day. Like, man, I should probably pay a little bit more attention to that. But, hey, look, in the end, I'm just doing this because I love gaming and Smite's my game. And I love all the people that I'm here with and the community. I think is actually not that bad. There's some bad stuff out there, obviously, but,
Yeah, me on the other side of that muted mic.
Yelling at your screen. But anyway, we are going to wrap it on up here tonight, and we will be back with you next week for episode 59, To Be Determined. Beat Split Push last night. You like that? I did the before and after there, like on Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune. That's a reference everyone gets.
Yep. Well, anyway, Yuki, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, you can find me less and less on PlayStation, at least for the time being, maybe a little more permanently. We'll see how I feel about that on PlayStation at Ryukutse_Yuki. You can hit me up, play games, yell at me, whatever works. You can find me more and more on PC at YukiGaming22 and yell at me and play games with me and whatever floats your boat. And Twitter, you can find me at RyukutseYuki. And you can find us every week on our games, attempting to not drool on our keyboards.
Attempting. Gotcha.
On the old Exilium stream.
Dan?
You can find me at DirtNapDan on the crossplay realm, trying to learn how to play on a PC well enough to compete in a tournament that I got thrown into in a bag with a brown bag over my head and rope tied around my neck and arms.
I think Guy did that thing where he rented a van and just kidnapped them all.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it was just like, hey, you want to do this? Oh, yeah. Okay, we're doing it. And tomorrow we're going to practice. And then the next day we're going to play a game. And I'm like, okay. Cool. But, hey, it was cool. Find me on PlayStation Island sometimes, I'm sure. DirtXNapXDan. And you can find me and everyone else also on the official Split Push Twitter at Split Push Podcast with no A.
And then there's Beagle Girl.
You can find me on Twitter at Beagle_Girl27 and PlayStation at Beagle_Girl2780.
Let us know when you're done.
It's like stomp 3 times.
Stop 3 times for done, twice for still going.
Podcast world, I'm going to take a brief moment here to say her room is cursed.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
It just doesn't matter. Computers die. Wi-Fi doesn't work.
Just please let me have the basement. I'll do anything.
No data doesn't work. All that crap.
I will do anything to move to the basement.
The efforts I go through to try to keep
care
her
about cat
on
boxes.
air every week.
I don't care about the law. I don't care. Please put me in the basement. I hate this.
Beagle,
bird.
you'll have to start your own donation fund to get us a point of egress out of our basement so you can move your bedroom into the finished part of the basement.
Ugh.
There you go. Hashtag free the Beagle. To the
Hashtag
basement.
get Beagle out of the pen.
Oh my.
Beagle's in the kennel. She needs.
Just start a GoFundMe, Beagle.
She's going to start a GoFundMe.
Yeah,
I'm in the kennel and I need help. I'm in the internet kennel.
Anyway, Guy Almighty had to leave early, as you all probably caught. So you'll catch his credentials next week.
I'm sorry,
you can
Beagle,
find good old Dirt Naps Dad here at Dirt_Naps_Dad on the PS4 island still, on the Twitter. I just don't know. I can't WSAD to save my life. Last time I tried to hook up, my controller didn't work. So Yuki, maybe you can talk to me and I'll figure something out.
I know how to hook a PlayStation controller, but it's just a little more pain in the butt.
Yeah, that's the problem. So anyway, make sure again you are hitting those likes, subscribes, follows, shares, hearts, whatever. Give us the good loving, because we love when you love us, and we love you because you are you, and you are a great audience and community. So, hey, it's been a great, grand old time here today, but, when it comes down to it, you gotta, when it comes to taking dirt naps, you gotta, take them and give them at the same time, right, Dan?
I don't like trading, okay? But it happened.
Oh, sorry, I just gotta pick on you a little bit more. I'm trying to take this out of
context. We need to end.
Yuki, keep it in context. We's out of here, because when all else fails,
Split push!